One of the neat things about doing the Tim Boland segment is you get the opportunity to go to places you would never really have an opportunity to go or would ever be invited to go. And one of them is bakeries. Now, bakeries, of course, involves everybody. Everybody's interested in what happens at a bakery. Maybe it's COVID, maybe it's just people wanting to have better foods. Things are changing in the food industry, and we're going to talk a bit about that today. And Adri Greenspan from Deer Grain. Now, Deer Grain is a bakery that has just started in Hamilton just a little over a year ago and is now just open to the public. So you're the baker, you're the guy who's been doing all this thing. Tell us, first of all, a little bit about what does Deer Grain mean when you're talking about bakeries?
Deer Grain is a sourdough bakery. So we make breads, we make pastries in the sourdough process. We've been doing this here for a year. We started in 2017 in Detour, and this is what we love doing over here.
Okay, now there's many, many different kinds of bread. Now bread's been around for, what, 10,000, 12, 14,000 years. What makes sourdough the one that you said, hey, we want to focus on this?
I found sourdough to be the most nourishing product among breads, and specifically the way that we make the breads is with high hydration. So it means we put a lot of water in with the flour to make a very wet dough, which means the bread would last for a long time on the shelf. It makes the bread a lot more digestible for us. And the sourdough process has a self-preservation quality to it that preserves the bread naturally.
Now, Adri, you're talking about healthy bread at a time when, you know, a lot of people are saying, oh, you can't eat bread anymore. We got to stop eating bread. They're going on special diets with no bread. But you're saying, hey, that's not necessarily true.
That is exactly the case. So these loaves over here that you're looking at them, you know, most people say when they go to the supermarket and see the packaged breads, they get bloated, they don't have good digestions. These breads, we put so much love into them. They take a long time, 20 to 36 hours to make each one of these loaves. Because of the water, they really get digested well. People who have gluten issues, I cannot promise for anyone, but a lot of people have come to us and told us, you know, we can eat bread. We haven't eaten bread for 20 years. We love this bread. Thank you so much. And that's what we're here to do.
Okay,
to make it approachable.
You've got us really interested in this process because I know everybody likes bread and some people just walk away from it. But here's something maybe they could have a look at. We'll come back a little bit later on and get right into it at Deer Grain. We are back at Deer Grain Bakery in downtown Hamilton, and this is the finished product, and man, oh man, we got to taste it in the next couple of segments. That's the finished product, but this is where it all starts here. And Adri Greenspan, just tell us a little bit about what this is.
Well, you're looking at a specialty loaf that we do for every Thursday. We do something spontaneous, something creative, just to get out of the routine.
Right.
Part of the special things that we do is incorporate porridges or purees into the dough. In this case, I incorporated purple yam into this dough, and over here I incorporated roasted orange peppers and sweet potato. And they're just blended into the dough, which would add the dough color, make the dough softer, and add a lot of flavor. Okay. And what we're going to do now, what I'd like to show you, is the process called lamination.
And you want me to help?
I do.
Good luck
I think
with
you'll
that.
come to understand the difficulty
let's do it.
of
What do we
making
do?
those. Okay, so the first step would be you reach from over there, you make your hands wet, and you reach under the dough, and then you pull it towards you. Exactly. And you just make it even. You did good. That's great. Okay, so let's do this now with the purple.
Gosh.
So the idea would be make your hands wet again, so the dough doesn't stick to you. Okay, and stretch it
over top?
Just take it all over the orange. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Way?
Oh yeah, you did. Amazing. You see how stretchy it is? This is what happens when you make a very highly hydrated dough.
And this again is sourdough.
This is all sourdough. Everything that we do here is sourdough, meaning flour waters gets fermented, bacteria and wild yeast, and they just do the work. Okay? All right. So what we'll do now is you'll fold this part, you go under, and you'll bring it over here.
Remember, folks, always do this at home. Or don't try this at home. Maybe not a good thing.
It's fun.
How far are we going?
All the way.
All the way.
It's about fun. You can't go wrong, really. You know, it's just different ways to do
everyone is a
thing.
piece of art because they're all different.
That's the beauty of it. Okay, ready? And we go.
Wow. It's like playing with plasticine.
I started home baking. I never learned it in a school.
You just did
And
this
I
at home
just
and learned
played.
it.
I made mistakes, and I learned from my mistakes, and I discover, and that's the fun in it. It's about having fun.
It is. Okay, now what do we do?
This part, you fold over this way, halfway, yeah. And this part, you'll fold over that, and this is how we create the layers of the dough. Whew. Good job.
This is a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah. And this has already all the ingredients in it.
Everything is in it. Now I'll lift it up, and I'll put it into the box.
Wow. Okay.
And it's going to sit here for another hour and a half, just sitting. Let the fermentation process do its work. It will increase in volume.
Right.
The flavors will go inside. And afterwards, if you look over there,
That goes to these over here.
this is what we do. This is the seeded loaf, the super seeded. So we had it in a box like this, and it was cut, divided into pieces, and then it's being shaped. And everything is done by hand. It's not mechanical. We put ourselves into the dough, into what we do, and that's why it's called artisanal.
Everybody wants this. We are going to take a bit of a break. We'll be back a little bit later on when this is ready to pour into that, and we'll see what mess we can get into at that point here at Deer Grain Bakery in Hamilton. So this is the secret mixture, is it, right here?
It is.
Very nice. Okay, we are back at Deer Grain Bakery, brand new store opening here on Vine Street in downtown Hamilton. And the man who knows all things sourdough is Adri Greenspan. And come on over here, let's continue with the process. Now we mixed the different colors of dough together before. Now what are they doing here?
Right now, it's a different type of dough that went through the proofing process. It was mixed in the morning, went through 3 hours proofing. It was divided earlier in the day to pieces, and now they're getting individually shaped. And you watch the way that they shape the dough. They create a lot of layers. Again, I said this dough is very wet, so in order for us to be able to hold the shape of the dough, we have to create layers. And this is what they're doing. They're folding it over each other and then putting it in the shape, and then they put it in the baskets, and after that, that would go for the baking tomorrow.
Is there a certain number of times you do it? Because some recipes go, you've got to fold it 3 times, don't do it any less, don't do it any more. Does it matter, or just got to go through the process?
It depends on the dough and how much mixing you do. The more you're mixing it, the less folding you will need to do.
Okay, now, once they are done that, the bread comes over here for the baking, and you don't just throw it in the oven. What happens here?
Basically what we do, we layer the dough, we take it out of the basket, so you've seen them shape it.
Yep.
So once they proofed in the basket and got to full size, these were actually made yesterday,
Okay.
and you saw the seeded, so this
Right.
is what the seeded looks like. We put them on the loader, and then we score them. Scoring meaning that we cut into them, so the loaf can expand and open, and the airs inside can expand, and the loaf is bigger and fluffier and lighter. Here we go.
All right, I don't know where we'll put that.
That's
Put
okay.
that somewhere.
And so
All right, so
This
we're making
is how
it
this-
fluffier now with the
You wanna-
scoring. Okay, how does it go? I'll let you
So-
do it. I don't want to wreck it.
this is the blade, and I just go here, and that's it. And you just go sort of a quick line. And there's different styles of core for different types of breads.
Any particular reason, or is just sort of history?
It's more how it affects the shape of the loaf. So we experiment with different ways, and then we say, okay, we like the visual of that, we like the impact of it on the texture of the dough. And you'll see this one I can do the same way like I did the other ones. Go in a circle like that.
Yep.
Or I can go straight in the middle, or I can go and do, you know, a curved one here and another curved
And that
one
helps
there.
to give the neat ridges in the bread.
Exactly. That's when you see what you call an ear. When the loaf opens, you get the ear.
All right, now what happens? Put them
And
right
so
in?
now we're going to push it into the oven. And this loads it into the deck. And if you can go under, you can see the bread goes. Ready? Oh, sorry.
Awesome. What a technique. All right, we are waiting here for the bread to get ready, and we'll just wait here until you come back a little bit later on, and we'll test the product and see how it is here at Deer Grain Bakery. Look at that, fresh out of the oven, and look at that steamy bread, and look, there's the colors that we work with, Adri.
Exactly.
How nice is that? Awesome looking bread here at Deer Grain on Vine Street in downtown Hamilton.
See, you get the yellow here.
Oh yeah, so every one is different. So every time people come in, they're gonna get a whole different loaf of bread. Now tell us again, now you deal in sourdough. Why did you pick sourdough? For those of you who didn't see the first segment, why do you think sourdough is the best thing since other sliced bread?
I find sourdough to be the tastiest and the healthiest. The sourdough process is a natural fermentation process. So just through the fermentation and the acidity that created there, the bread is preserved naturally and it stays longer, much longer than other breads without any additives to it.
Okay. And what do you say to people who say, oh, they've sworn off bread, they feel much better, blah, blah, blah. What do you say to them about this? Try it or what?
I would say that anybody who's tried sourdough will become real sourdough that's made with lots of water and over time is converted for life. Almost guaranteed.
Can we try it?
Absolutely.
All right.
Some butter?
Sure.
There you go.
All right. Again, this is right out of the oven, so you don't get it any better than this.
There you go. There you go.
That's awesome. But you already knew that, didn't you?
You know, each loaf is new, and for me, each loaf that I try is a new experience. And this is where this work for us as a team, it's never boring.
This is fabulous. And you don't have to eat it when you buy this loaf the same day. Usually when you buy a loaf of artisan bread, you got to kind of eat it within 2 days or it's
This particular
hard.
loaf would last you for a week if you're not going to finish it in the first day.
Well,
On the shelf,
that'd be a question
as
too.
it is, the purees that were put inside bring moisture to it, keep it soft. This is an amazing loaf.
All right, now you've made other things too. Now everything here is sourdough. Now you've got, like, what have we got on the tray here?
So we got sourdough chocolate chip cookies, sourdough buckwheat cookies. We have an espresso brownie. We have banana cake. Over here, you have an Italian lemon cake with sourdough, and you have a carrot cake with sourdough.
Well, this is fabulous. Thank you very much for letting us come in and showing us everything today. And again, folks, anytime you come in here to the new storefront on Vine Street in Hamilton, you can get on any particular day 6, maybe 7 different kinds of bread here. It is just awesome. You got to try it. Even if you're sort of sworn off bread, why not give it a shot? Because these are the days where we want to, try new things, get back into life, and enjoy life a little bit more. So come on down here at Deer Grain Bakery on Vine Street in Hamilton. Thanks for being with us today.